A disturbing story behind the Starbucks logo. Even if you never purchase coffee there is a fair chance that you are aware of the mermaid-themed Starbucks emblem. The design for the logo was a deliberate idea by the brand. The Starbucks logo would appear like this when viewed from behind, where the woman's tail is spread out widely. In reality, the mermaid is a siren. Due to the siren's bareness and exposed chest, it was extremely contentious before 1987. You will be astonished to learn what actually occurred. To understand the details, we must begin at the beginning. The founders of Starbucks were looking through old marine books when a mysterious nautical figure called to them. They had discovered a 16th century illustration of a twin-tailed mermaid, later to be identified as a siren. Almost immediately after seeing the image, the founders decided that the name Starbucks should be used because Seattle is a port city and its coffee is imported on ships. Also, Starbucks was given its name from the character Starbuck in Moby Dick. The logo is intended to allude to the seafaring tradition of the early coffee traders, as stated on the Starbucks website. You may suppose that they picked the siren because it resembled a mermaid and lived in the sea, but there was a more sinister motive at work. The siren has a troublesome history, which the original creators were aware of. In Greek mythology, the siren was first depicted as a bird with a woman's head, then as a woman with wings and bird feet, before finally evolving into the mermaid creature we know today. Despite these various interpretations, the siren's traits remained constant. They were seductive and violent. Typically, a siren would sing, and the sailors would be powerless to resist her and would literally jump into the water and drown. To end, the sirens utilized their beauty to entice sailors to come with them in the water. When the owners of the business were prepared to begin roasting coffee beans and launch the first Starbucks location, they hired artist Terry Heckler to develop a symbol for the company. Looking at the first logo for Starbucks, the siren's chest was bare and her split tail was seductively spread wide open. This depiction was no accident. The owners expected people to see Starbucks, smell Starbucks, and desire Starbucks, just as they did in the story of Odysseus, who tied himself to a mast to prevent being drawn in by their beauty and singing. It is a known truth that Starbucks design is intended for customers to find it difficult to resist their coffee. When the company started to expand, they ran into a problem with this seductive barefront creature being a little too risky. When it was scaled up in size by changing the artwork to make her more appropriate, according to former chairman and CEO Howard Schultz in 1992, the early siren barefront in Rubenesque was supposed to be as seductive as coffee itself. Without facing criticism, Starbucks was allowed to use the image on their trucks, and over the following 20 years, the emblem became even more subdued. The siren has always been the center of attention despite all of these alterations. In fact, the corporation likes this creature so much that in 2008 it returned to the original bare-breasted emblem, which was an instant failure with the public and was immediately withdrawn. The approachability and distinctiveness of the Starbucks logo contribute significantly to its effectiveness. Pour your heart into it. How Starbucks built a company one cup at a time. Howard Schultz's memoir claims that this is demonstrated by the 1987 switch from black to a more affirming green. Starbucks chose the more energizing hue of green to make sure that their emblem would be noticeable wherever it was applied. For a business with a global presence, this was crucial. According to the Starbucks website, our green is iconic. Locks are seen. It's our most recognizable asset, from our logo to the color of our aprons. The 2011 revamp stripped the logo down again to its essential components while keeping the brand's ubiquity in mind. The corporation asks what's noticeably missing from our current logo. On its website, our name is. The reach of Starbucks goes beyond just coffee, and our siren, who is already well known, can stand on her own. A universally recognized symbol of quality coffee, the current Starbucks logo is also fully green and white without the black accents of earlier iterations. The seduction and irresistibility made for a weird marketing technique, but at the end of the day, it is working. Starbucks doesn't even include this in their logo evolution page on their website, but it goes to show how dedicated they are to this creature.